Hello, welcome back to the garden. I moved into my new build property 6 months ago, and I did a video about how the developers left the garden, which was basically a patch of grass, a small patio and a small shed. I did a video for that. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want to catch up on that. And first of all, I want to say a massive thank you to all the kind people who left helpful comments and suggestions after that video, and I've taken some of those on board. For example, I was going to leave my motorcycle under a cover, and some people said, you're not going to be satisfied with that, get a bigger shed to put the bike in. That's what I've done. And another thing I was going to do was site the shed in a more shady part of the garden, but some of you said you're going to end up looking at the shed all day from your living room. And again, you were absolutely right. So I've reconsidered where I'm putting the shed. And another suggestion that was made was to get a combined shed and greenhouse. And I looked at those and I found one I really liked. It was £2,000. It had glass, not polycarbonate. But when I came to order it, unfortunately, they couldn't do named day delivery. And I did not want £2,000 worth of equipment left on my driveway on pallets while I might have been out at work. They couldn't commit to a single day. They could only give a 2 to 3 day delivery. Wasn't good enough for me when I was about to go on holiday. So we've scrapped that idea. And instead what I've decided to do is probably the sensible thing and go for a separate shed and greenhouse. So I've got this little shed here. But what we're going to do first is I'm going to go through the plans for my garden, which have changed dramatically since the last video, and then we'll have a look at how the garden looks today. A quick look at the garden as it is at the moment, and here are the plans for it. I hope these come out okay. So first of all, because I live near the seaside, I want to give the garden a seaside theme. And I found this picture on Pinterest of how I want the pathways to look. And it's these sleepers in shingle. So I want this shingle effect. And on the right hand side of the garden, you might see it says shade loving plants. So the right hand side of the garden, down along by the fence there, will be a bed for shade loving plants, and that will hopefully be segregated off by posts and rope with a very sort of nautical theme. And this patio here I'm hoping to maybe extend by maybe one slab, and then these slabs that are loose laid here, they will be obviously done properly. I'm going to get a landscaper to do that, because with the shed here, that's an 8x6 shed, I decided I was going to do the base myself, because I did the base of the shed at my previous house when I was 25 years old. That was 30 years ago, and I was a lot fitter then than I am now. So I've decided, no, groundwork, hard landscaping, I'm going to leave that to other people. But yeah, that's the shed now. The shed has gone there, and then what we're going to do is the pathway is going to go there where that temporary path is. We're going to have raised beds where the pelargoniums are, the red flowers and the yellow flowers there. Then a bit of a gap so I can get to the shed and repaint it, because that is going to be repainted as well. If we look back at the plans, so you can see the shed there, you can see the beds there. The bins are going to go behind the shed, and then we're going to have the greenhouse. So the greenhouse is going to go behind the shed, and then a few raised beds there, compost heaps in the corner. We've already got one compost heap down there. We'll go and have a look. So now let's look physically at what we're going to do. So this is where the patio will be extended. I've got the slabs already loose laying there, and I think we're going to do one more row of slabs along there. The shed will not be staying that colour. I could do a whole other video about trying to get the right shade of blue for the shed, which I might just do, because it's been really interesting trying to find the right blue for the shed. So all this will be shingle, with sleepers inset. So this will be the bed down this side for shade loving plants with the post and rope fencing. So we're still coming down the shingle, the sleeper path on the shingle. Then we have the storage area behind the shed where we're going to have the wheelie bins. Sorry for the background noise, they're still building on this site, would you believe, after 6 months, the world's slowest developers. This is the site for the greenhouse where all this general rubbish is at the moment, and then we're going to have raised beds at the back. You can see I've got some raised beds here, a temporary one there, and then the compost bins will go. We've got one already there, and then where we've got the pile of turf, we're going to have a second compost bin there. So they are the plans. Now let's look at the garden as it is at the moment. So basically what I've been doing is I've been experimenting, trying things out, growing things on, seeing what works, what doesn't work. I was excited to find a packet of wildflower seeds when I unpacked from the Outer Hebrides. So I've dug off some turf and put them here, sowed them here I think in March. And wildflower seeds are supposed to thrive in poor soil, and it doesn't get much poorer than this. I'm really pleased. I've got a cornflower. Look, my cornflower's just bloomed, which I'm very excited about. But you can see, I mean, look at this earth, folks. I mean, that is pretty appalling. And they say that wildflowers like poor soil, but I think even this is taking the biscuit. They're even struggling here. So this is going to need a lot of work doing to it to get it up to a standard. So I'm trying here with some grasses, which I got locally. I'm looking after Mum's dog at the moment, Bradley, while she's out. Hello, Bradley. Here I'm growing some Rollo Rosso lettuces, cut and come again, in an old fruit box, and I've used the polythene on the fruit box to line it with. So yeah, my little cut and come again Rollo Rosso lettuces are yes, Bradley, they're very exciting, aren't they? So I'm experimenting with shade loving ferns and things, and then here I'm growing some, Bradley, get your nose out, growing some foxtail millet that's just started to germinate. I don't know if you can see. I'm very excited about some this is the foxtail millet for the sort of grassy bit on the shade loving plants. Very excited about this rose because this was around the front door at my house in Ashford, and my lovely friends and former next door neighbours rescued it for me. They replanted it and it is surviving, so thank you, Sue and Phil. And Sue and Phil also gave me this rose, which is, I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but it's thriving. And then round on this side of the garden, I've got a real thing for sweet peas, and the seeds I kept from 2020 didn't germinate, so I bought these sweet peas in Camden Garden Centre, a little pot of them, and I've potted them out. They're thriving, which is really good. Some bamboo there, because I like bamboo. I love fragrance, and that's why I've got these very fragrant sweet peas. These are Nicotianas that I planted 4 weeks ago. Sorry, I sowed them 4 weeks ago. They've germinated. They germinated in about a week, and then they've done absolutely nothing. So I don't know what's going on with the Nicotianas. And this is a hydrangea, and then I've just got some, I sowed some night scented stock seeds. Again, fragrance, I love fragrance. So hopefully they will do something. They don't seem to be doing a lot at the moment. Some marigolds I bought in Home Bargains, which was a bargain. And some pansies a friend gave me that look really cute in those old tins. This is great. This dianthus carnation, isn't it? Is a cutting I took from a bunch of flowers I bought at Lidl, and I saw this. Oh, hello, hoverfly. And I saw that and thought, oh, I'll see if I can strike a cutting and grow. So yeah, I've grown this for free off of a cutting I struck from a bunch of flowers in Lidl. Pelargoniums there from Lidl. This, look at my poor buddleia. It's a white buddleia. I got it to attract butterflies, but it looks really sick, and apparently it's happening to buddleias all over. And no one really knows what it is. So if anyone does know what is wrong with my buddleia, it's growing, but the leaves look really sick. I'd be really interested to know. These are really good sort of experimental things. It's like, I guess really I should have used this lovely purple pelargonium. You can tell I've got a thing with pelargoniums. In with this lobelia here, it would have been a bit better, bit of a better colour match, but never mind. We've got all the purples here with the pelargonium, the heuchera, and the lavender there, which the hoverfly is loving as well at the moment. And then we've got some broad beans, and look, these look ready to harvest, my broad beans, some of them. So that's thanks to my friend David, because he gave me some plants that I planted out in these fruit crates, and I've been painting up some of these fruit crates with tester colours for the shed to see, because as I say, the shed is going to be blue, so sort of very beach hut like. The green's nice, but it's just not really the theme of the garden. These are some sweet peas I sowed myself, and again they've got this far and then they've kind of done nothing. And what's interesting is this front row are sweet peas I started off inside, and then when I planted them out when they were seedlings, I put seeds at the second row, which have caught them up. If anything, they're overtaking now. Although I have pinched this front row out, but anyway, hopefully they will do something. And then as we come down now to the back of the garden, this is a raised bed I bought by mail order, and my goodness, this took some filling, as you could imagine. I went to my friend's wood, Mike and Tracy. They've got a woodland, and I've put all wooden things in the bottom. I've put a load of stuff in the bottom. Hugel culture it's called, or it's kind of hugel culture, and then loads of compost, and finally some topsoil. And it's been blooming expensive. So this is 60 centimetres high, 2 foot high, and future raised beds are going to be 30 centimetres high, so a bit like this temporary one here, which will be far cheaper to fill. So here I've got some tomatoes, thanks to my friends Jean and John, and they're also subscribers. Hello Jean and John. And so I've got some tagetes there, French marigolds as companion planting, a couple of basil plants, thank you to my friend Dave, some beetroot and some leeks, again thank you David for starting those off for me. So I've got some really good friends who have started things off for me, because everything I've started it's just been too late. So some more tomatoes here which I need to think about staking from Jean and John, and again tagetes again, French marigolds as companion planting. Here I've got some beetroot I've planted myself. Peas are not doing much, they really are not doing much, the peas. This is salad leaves, which yeah, not so keen on those. Two types of rocket which are doing well. These need thinning out now, so I'll thin them out when I need rocket. And round here, this is very exciting, this bit. Bradley, what are you doing? This is very exciting. So look, radishes. I've got some courgettes here, so I'm going to harvest the radish, and then that will leave space for these courgette plants that I've got, that I grew from seed. Hello Dougal. Dougal's been stung on the face. Look, poor Dougal. Poor Dougal. And look, strawberries, strawberries. Look. How exciting is this? Strawberries for tea. Oh, hello Ted. Yes, so I've got plenty of strawberries. I'm using these twigs to try and keep the birds off. Seem to be doing well. Bradley, stop eating grass, please. Yeah, so that is the garden at the moment. I managed to get some pallets from the builders, which I'm going to use, maybe build a raised bed from them. What's happening next is where Dougal is and this rubbish, I'm going to have someone in to get this levelled off, ready for a greenhouse. That bed is going to have to move, which is why I'm slowly emptying it as I'm harvesting things. And then this area here will be used as basically a soil dump while all the groundwork's being done. And then when the groundwork's finished, then we'll start making this bed here. And a friend of mine at work, Isabel, she's recommended a soil sieve, a rotary soil sieve. We're gonna get one of those, and yeah, that's the garden so far, and I am incredibly excited. Oh, while I think about it, I'm going to show you the blue that I've decided on for the shed, which is this blue. So that will be the colour of the shed. So it'll be a nice sort of beach hut style, which again, very excited about that. But the next thing is now I've just got to get the groundworks done for the greenhouse base and the patio extension. This wood here is just some cuttings from my mum's place, and I'm going to use those at the bottom of raised beds just to for hugel culture. And yeah, it's all very, very, very exciting, isn't it, Ted? Do you think it's exciting? Do you think it's exciting? Yes? Yes? Yeah, suit yourself. Now you might notice there's a lot of rather wild grass around here. Don't worry too much about that, because all the grass will be going. We're going to have shingle nearer the house, and then this part of the garden will probably be, after the greenhouse, will be on bark chips. So all this grass will be going, and this area will be used for soil storage during the hard landscaping. So again, it's just not worth doing anything with it until the hard landscaping has been done and we've used all the soil that we've been storing. Hey Ted, you got a scratch? Got a scratch? So there you have it, folks. That's my new build garden after 6 months. Still loads to do, but I'm so excited about now sort of the next phase of getting the hard landscaping finished. And then there's going to be quite a lot of hard work to do as well, getting the beds made and all that kind of thing. I'm going to hopefully make the path myself. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but the main thing is now we just need some rain to soften up this earth before I can do any groundworks. But either way, it's still really, really exciting. As I say, I might do a video about choosing the colour of the shed, because that has been a heck of a marathon. And yeah, nothing, basically what's on the colour charts never looks anything like the colour you end up painting on the shed. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you've got any comments, please leave them obviously below. Any suggestions, I'd be very interested. Anyway, if you don't subscribe, please consider subscribing. And it just leaves me to say from Dougal, from Dougal, who's hopefully his little sting is going to go down very soon. From Ted and from me, thanks for tuning in.